I received the passenger window motor. So, let's put it into this car so we can finally get the mirror off, the door handles, and the lock cylinders out. Here's a good example of why I need this stuff out, because it's all splintering there. That needs body work. Okay, so let's show how well this window works now. Doesn't go down the best, but up. Yep, so it still needs some messing with, some greasing. So the reason it goes up faster is because there's a spring that helps it go up. There's no spring that helps it go down. So going down is all motor. Going up, there's a spring to help, so it's not just the motor. So when I take out this passenger side, the problem with these is you have to kind of pin the motor or the regulator or something like that. You have to pin it so that way when you take the motor out, the spring doesn't just shoot up and the window doesn't fire up and damage you or hurt your car. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Got the window motor here. So in the last video we took out the panel. We figured out that this window motor is actually bad. So now we can replace it, and I'm gonna have to lube up the tracks because I just know that is gonna have the same sort of problem that the driver's side does. So I believe there's only like 3 bolts holding the motor to the regular assembly. Yeah, and then so basically what's supposed to happen is when you do this, you're supposed to roll the window down about halfway. And when it's about that halfway point, there's a spot for you to like pin into the regulator to hold it and stop it from springing up. Now, because this window is stuck in the up position and the spring pushes up, there's nowhere else it can go. It's totally stopped out because of the top window stop things. So basically, I'm just gonna hold a clamp on it just to be safe. But in theory, when I take out the window motor, nothing should happen. Using 7/16, I got the 3 nuts out. Actually, they're bolts. There they are right here. And I just gotta wiggle the motor loose. Got the old on the top, new on the bottom. Yep, so I actually didn't have to lower any of the window stops or anything. I wiggled it out. Not sure if I'll be able to wiggle it back in though. That might be a problem. Alright, we have made progress. So, when I put the new motor in, it actually did nothing. Nothing happened. So I pulled it back out, I bench tested it, and that's where I am now. This is the old motor. So as you can see, it has 2 terminals, and from the last video I made where I diagnosed the problem, I actually had it backwards and I didn't fully understand it, but now I have a much better idea of what's going on. So 2 wires means, I think I said they were looking for ground. They're actually looking for positive. So when you do a switch, it will put positive in one terminal or the other terminal, whether you're going up or down. So it gets its ground from the housing, where the housing bolts to the regulator. So to test it out, if you put a ground in where one of the screw goes, and then you apply positive 12 volts to one of the terminals, it will spin. This one actually works, but it is very weak. So it's a good thing I'm upgrading this, because if I did fix that problem, it still would have been weak. Like there was a noticeable difference between the speed of the new motor and the old motor. And with the new motor, basically what I had to do is, there's 3 spots where it bolts up to the regulator, as you can see. And I just took some sandpaper and sanded it down. And now I got the contacts contacting, basically, instead of just having rust and corrosion in the way and not getting a good ground to the housing. So now it has a good ground. Now I just have to lube up the tracks of the regulator. So long story short, I guess I could have used this. I guess I didn't need a new motor, but to fix it I had to take the motor off, clean the where it bolts up to, and then put it back on. So it really wouldn't make much sense to put the old one on, so kind of justifies getting the new one. Alright, made some progress. Basically put a bunch of penetrating oil onto the regulator tracks that the window follows. That old grease, it was so bad, it was like rock hard. I had to scrape it off with my finger. And then I sprayed a ton of penetrating fluid to kind of help soak it up and make it easier to free. But this is where we're at right now. So if I go down, it's a little crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think it's supposed to be that fast, but I mean, that seems like normal. That's not up all the way. Oh well. But down is crazy. I have been messing a lot with getting it just to go down, so maybe I need to spray fluid the other way to get it to go up a little faster, but that's insanely fast for down. Like, that's almost worrisome. It's pretty funny though. Alright, well that's gonna wrap up this short little video. I think it's pretty funny how fast that goes. Yeah, it's almost like it's just falling over, but I can stop it like halfway or wherever I want, so pretty interesting. So now I can work on getting the mirrors off, but that will be in the next video that you see, where I continue prepping this car for paint.